Obviously, you saw the power go out here in downtown Augusta not too long ago. It appears to be back on now. Every week, hundreds of you are picking these up off store shelves. This is the jail report. You've probably heard of it. At 7 o'clock, we will find out more answers, because right now all we have are questions, and we expect a lot of those questions to be answered at the top of the hour when Aiken Public Safety does address the media. John Hart reporting to you live from atop the Zamboni. It's only Friday the 13th. Why not open an umbrella inside?
You hold on to that one, John. There you go.
There we go.
So if you're looking for
Actually, Kim would like it better if it was like this. There we go. A little bit of Masters history here this afternoon. Actually, just in the last hour or so, Anthony Kim, the 23-year-old from California, playing in his first Masters, 11 birdies for his round today. That is the most birdies in a tournament round here ever. And George, who took that picture?
That was Kathy Weidman.
The name rings a bell.
She's our boss.
She's the boss.
Yes.
And what we found here, if you'll look down here, is about an inch of water, maybe even 2 inches of water on the roadway.
Possible that a couple cities in the viewing area could push to 105 or 106.
Need you a little sun there.
Oh, a little sun. We need
we
that.
We do have A-grass. Work time over, time to play! Back to you. Now on the CW Augusta final countdown, the final list of possible names for the new you. Or is it? Decision Day. The Supreme Court set for a ruling tomorrow that will affect every single American. And you are not alone, even if you want to be. New technology that can watch you wherever you may roam. Good Wednesday evening to you. The news at 10 begins with a busy night and getting ready for a busier tomorrow. Let's start with the name of the new university that will come from the merger of Augusta State and Georgia Health Sciences University. We thought the group working on the consolidation was going to release the list of 3 finalists tonight. Instead, it revised the list of 6. The 6 names at the top of the list are now Augusta University, Bartram University, George Walton University, Georgia National University, Georgia Regents University, and University of Augusta. But the list may not end there. Archith Seshadri live with tonight's big story. Archith Seshadri, thank you very much. A lot of you weighing in on Facebook tonight. Giovanni in Augusta says it would be terrible not to have Augusta in the name. I'm all for U of A. Charles in Augusta says they got worse. Wow. And Julie from Augusta has the most popular post of the night, judging by the number of likes. She says, leave it ASU and save taxpayers lots of money. George, do you have a preference for the name of the new you?
You know, one man who's been left out of this conversation, Button Gwinnett. One of the first governors of Georgia and signer of the Declaration of Independence. So I'm for Button U.
And I am from Gwinnett County. So
there you go.
That's not bad.
I don't think that'll fly, though.
I like the Georgia A&M. I know what they're saying there, but I did a little research on the internet for whatever that's worth tonight. And apparently, Texas A&M actually started as agriculture and mechanical. Now, the A&M officially, at least, doesn't mean much of anything.
But I like Augusta University, or University of Augusta, too.
That seems to be the leading contender, yeah. All right, George, we'll see. Appreciate it. There will be 9 unpaid days off for all Richmond County School District workers next school year. That decision by the Board of Education tonight as it approves a new budget and tries to dig out of a budget hole that is now millions of dollars deep. Furloughs and cutting positions, they say, is the only way to do it.
We're going to have to reduce personnel.
So with this plan, many parents, teachers, you can expect to see more kids per classroom this fall. On the crime tracker tonight, Grovetown Mayor Sonny McDowell indicted on bribery charges in Alabama. The indictment says McDowell tried to bribe an Alabama Department of Public Safety employee. He refused to talk to us tonight, McDowell that is. Mayor George James says McDowell will remain on the city council until further notice. Also on the tracker, Richmond County investigators need your help finding the gunman in these dramatic pictures from inside the Family Dollar on Broad Street. They say he walked in with the gun, demanded money, got away with a bunch of it. Take a good look at him. If you recognize him, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. And they're also looking for this guy. He might be a little harder to identify. Not as clear a picture, but investigators say he and another suspect tried to rob the IHOP on Washington Road. They didn't get any money, but one of them fired a shot into the ceiling of the restaurant. Meanwhile, tomorrow night, the 6 men hoping to be the next sheriff of Richmond County will hold another forum. This one will start tomorrow night, 6:30 at Diamond Lakes Park. Across America tonight, the countdown is on. Just a few more hours left now until the U.S. Supreme Court expected to hand down what many are calling its most significant ruling in years. Tomorrow, the High Court expected to rule on President Obama's health care law. At issue is the constitutionality of the mandate that requires Americans to buy health care insurance.
I believe it was right.
So what will the ruling mean for you? No matter what happens tomorrow, every single one of you will be affected in some way, shape, or form. We sat down with University Hospital President CEO Jim Davis to get his answers. Brett Buffington has that story.
Brett Buffington, WJBF News Channel 6.
Across Georgia tonight, District 12 Congressman John Barrow joining a growing list of Democrats tonight, siding with Republicans for another big decision expected out of Washington tomorrow. Barrow will join a handful of Democrats that plan to vote with Republicans to hold Attorney General Eric Holder in criminal contempt of Congress for refusing to release all documents related to the botched Fast and Furious gun-running operation that resulted in the death of border agent Brian Terry. Barrow saying, quote, "The only way to get to the bottom of what happened is for the Department of Justice to turn over the documents so we can ensure this tragedy never happens again," end quote. Barrow also announcing today he is joining another list of Democrats that will not attend the Democratic National Convention in Charlotte later this summer. Across South Carolina, hearings start tomorrow in the ethics investigation of Governor Nikki Haley. At issue is whether she lobbied illegally while a member of the legislature. The case has already been thrown out one time, but reopened by lawmakers earlier this month. And a reminder, if you need a job, there is a job fair tomorrow, 1 to 4, Christenberry Fieldhouse, that is on Wrightsboro Road. 50 employers with more than 100 job opportunities. Take plenty of copies of your resume. If you need more info before you go, call 706-721-5794. And don't forget, follow me on Twitter. There it is, @JohnDarwinHart. I'm also on the Foursquare if you really want to know where I am every single waking moment. Pinterest? No. Coming up.
Well, somebody tracking where I am every minute I'm in the store. It's kind of weird.
Oh, but it is about to happen. Big Brother will be watching. We'll tell you where and how. But first, these Angry Birds aren't nearly as much fun as the ones on your phone. In fact, they are holding an entire neighborhood hostage. Can't wait to get that bill in July or August.
It's going to be up there. But I'll pay any price to stay cool. So
very good point. Very good point. George, tonight we got turkeys taking over one neighborhood. So much so that the government is stepping in with a possible solution, and it does not involve an early Thanksgiving dinner. Take a look at this. That was Doug Scheimel reporting. I bet I could round up a posse of guys from Burke County, Edgefield County.
You read my mind.
Take care of this problem without any city council public hearings. No, we're not advocating killing the turkeys until November.
The proper time, yes,
exactly.
November.
George, thanks.
Sure.
Still to come. Always feel like somebody's watching you. Love that song. If you have a smartphone, though, you might be right. A consumer alert coming up. In tonight's consumer alert, would you care if someone tracked your every shopping move without you even knowing it? Like it or not, it is about to happen to those of you with a smartphone. Diane Lee reports.
Probably take my battery out of my phone or something.
That technology is still months away, but when it does arrive, companies plan to sell the idea to malls and other big box stores across the country. Coming up, whether Georgia plays for a national championship or not, the national championship may come to Georgia. Marissa's in for sports, and she'll explain next.
Wake up temperatures 86, no, it's not that bad. Wake up temperatures 68 to 75 degrees. That's all we need, 86 for a low.
It won't matter by 4 p.m. All right, George, news continues top of the hour on WJBF News Channel 6 and 11 till death next here on the CW Augusta.
I was excited, ready, thinking it was just going to be like the other times, just go in, stay for a couple days, and go home.
July 2nd, 2010. Maureen Willingham and her husband are expecting their 4th child. It is the last thing she remembers.
There's nothing you can do to prevent what happened. You know, it's like I didn't do anything wrong. It just happened.
This is Dr. Adams Pickett.
When they called and told me there's respiratory distress, I was very surprised and shocked to see as I walked in the room that the person in respiratory distress was not the baby, it was the patient herself. She was pale, she was lifeless, and I heard the nurses say, we have no pulse.
Maureen suffered from amniotic fluid embolism, an extremely rare condition that results in respiratory failure. Dr. Pickett and her team delivered the baby by C-section, while others frantically worked to revive Maureen.
And Maureen would not come back. And again, I kept thinking, this is not supposed to happen. Birth is supposed to be a happy event. I've never known anybody to go through anything like that, and then for them to say I went through it, it's unbelievable. And then the fact that I don't remember any of it.
A minute became 10, then 20, and then Maureen was alive, but doctors believed she would never again regain consciousness.
And the next day when I went to be with the family when they withdrew cardiac support, the nurses said, we have a surprise for you. I said, what do you mean we have a surprise? What? I mean, and they said, call her name. I said, call who? They call your patient's name. And I said, Maureen, and she turned around and looked at me. And I'm sure the nurses in the room had never seen the doctor respond the way they saw me that day, because I was just overcome with emotion. Me and Dr. Pickett was put in each other's paths for a reason, because most people would have gave up.
The mortality rate on these is these kind of cases is 50% of the mothers usually die within the first hour. What we do, it can make or break someone's whole life, and we're just so thankful that Maureen and her baby made it.
Hi, sweetie.
Today, Byron is 10 months old and healthy, and so is Mom.
If you spoke to any scientist, physician, clinician across the country and told them Maureen's story, they would never believe that the outcome was that Maureen and Byron were still here today, and that Maureen and Byron are both healthy and happy. Without the doctor I had and the good people in ICU, and we wouldn't be sitting here. All it took was for somebody to have an off day and to not feel like doing something, and it had turned out completely different. I was just stunned and in awe of what could happen if you believe, you have faith, and if you work together. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.